You're watching NBA Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham. We got the latest NBA news and rumors here on Chat Sports. Lots of stuff to get into on this show, including the Warriors stuff. It's not going away. What's going to happen with that number 2 overall pick? It looks like they're pondering trading down, as the latest report has them potentially trading down and drafting Devin Vassell, the two-way player out of Florida State, a wing type who could probably come in and be a player right away and impact the team in a positive way from day one. He's not an elite guy, not a top 5 prospect in this NBA draft, but a player who gives you some 3-and-D, some defensive versatility, and maybe the Warriors can trade down, get an extra pick or player that can help this year, and then you just draft Devin Vassell maybe around the 10th pick or something like that. 13 points, shot over 41% from 3 at Florida State this past season. I like this kid. Like I said, he's not going to wow you with athleticism or be, a top 3 or 4 pick or anything like that. But as a trade down candidate from the number 2 pick and to get some value later in the first round, I think this makes sense because remember, Golden State, they're trying to win right now. That's why we keep talking about the number 2 pick and the potential of trading it in this year's NBA draft in this offseason. Devin Vassell, I think, is a player that is being slept on in the NBA draft and could potentially give a team like Golden State some punch as a rookie this upcoming season. So before we get to our next story, answer this question, or subscribe to Chat Sports for us here. Sorry about that, guys. Subscribe to Chat Sports. We got free videos every single day. We got the latest NBA news, rumors, and a whole bunch more. Jimmy's firing up mock drafts, it seems like, every week these days. I can't even keep up with what he's doing. All I know is videos are going up on the channel every single day, so you don't want to miss it. Subscribe to Chat Sports. Turn on notifications. We're closing in on 200,000 subscribers. We can only get there with your help, so turn on notifications and subscribe today. That way you never miss any of our off-season coverage because, guys, the off-season is here. It is absolutely here, and I cannot wait for all of the free agency and draft coverage that we got for you guys. So subscribe so you never, ever miss it. Speaking of the Warriors, what will they do with the number 2 pick? Will they trade it? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Go ahead and answer this question for me in the comments section. Do you think they'll trade it? If you do, type Y for yes. If you don't, type N for no. Trade rumors, they just don't go away. Myles Turner to Boston. Get your popcorn ready. They need a big, right? Fansided threw this idea out there of swapping Gordon Hayward for Myles Turner. Hayward's got a player option for $34 million. He's going to opt in. I would be shocked if he didn't. So how about swapping these two? You'd probably have to move another player or two to make the money completely work. But if you're Boston, you got plenty of guards. You got plenty of wings. What you don't have is high-level bigs. Daniel Tice did a serviceable job, especially in the playoffs. Not really a starting caliber center. Myles Turner is. Good two-way player. He can space the floor, block shots, rebound. I like his game a lot, and I think in Indiana he's kind of caught because you have Domantas Sabonis there as well. Those two side by side don't really make a lot of sense. I think he'd make a ton of sense in Boston. Look at this starting 5 if this were to happen. Kemba, Smart, Tatum, Brown, Myles Turner. That's a lot of fun if they could figure out a way to make that happen. Now, I will say this, moving Gordon Hayward's really the only way to get that done, and that is why Fansided threw out the trade idea of just straight up for straight up. I think you'd probably have to throw an extra pick in there, too, if you're Boston, with Hayward being a little older and costing a little more as well. But I'm intrigued by this. I'll be curious to see what Indiana does this offseason because Oladipo wants out, and Myles Turner, I think, wants out as well after they paid Domantas Sabonis. Let's get to the latest on the coaching carousel, especially with the Clippers. Mike Brown to the Clippers, the Golden State assistant. This one shocked me, but when Mark Stein reports something, I believe it when it comes to the NBA. They apparently were very impressed with Mike Brown after interviewing him. Now, Ty Lue, who we'll get to in a second, is still considered the front runner there, but could you imagine if the Clippers parted ways with Doc Rivers and then brought in Mike freaking Brown? Are you kidding me? Mike Brown, the same Mike Brown that only got to the finals, what, Jimmy, one time with LeBron and then and didn't win it, got swept, and they rehired him later. Wasn't the same guy. Also, he went to the Lakers And wasn't that the Steve Nash, Dwight Howard? Yeah, the dream team. And that was a disaster. They fired him after a season and like 4 games, goes back to Cleveland for a year. They can him after a season. Now, he's been a great assistant in Golden State. Steve Kerr's spoken highly of him. He coached some games while Kerr was out as their head coach. But look, this is not a guy that I would hire as a head coach. I'm not the biggest Doc Rivers guy, but to go from Doc Rivers to Mike Brown, that's a downgrade if you ask me. Whoever the Clippers hire have to get the best out of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, because you don't bring these 2 guys in last year and give up all the assets you did for George to punt after 1 season. You got to run it back. You got to see if you can make it happen in the 2020-2021 NBA season. Kawhi was great in the playoffs, except for Game 7 against the Nuggets. PG-13, Pandemic P, as we call him here at Chat Sports, did not show up. So whoever the next coach is has to connect with these guys, and they got to get the best out of the superstar duo in Los Angeles. So who should the Clippers hire as their next head coach? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section. How about this? Not Mike Brown. How about anybody else? I think that is a terrible idea. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And while you're pondering, while you're answering, before we get to our next storyline here, we got face coverings available at chatsports.com/NBA mask. Solo packs all the way up to 4 packs. I want to go to some games next year, but the reality is, even if we're allowed to at home stadiums, you're going to have to wear a face covering. That's just how it's going to be. This pandemic doesn't appear to be going away, so do your part, wear a mask. Let's beat this thing, and let's get back into our home arenas and pack those places. Get a face covering, chatsports.com/NBA mask. Got the solo packs all the way up to 4 packs, 2 packs, 3 packs. We've got it all at that link. It's chatsports.com/NBA mask. Look in the live chat, look in the comments, and look in the description. Click on it. Boom, you can shop today. All right, I said we're going to get to the latest on Ty Lue, so here we go. The latest is that while he's still considered the front runner to take over for Doc in L.A., he is interviewing for the Rockets job very, very soon. So this is going to be interesting to monitor, because if you're Lue and if you believe the reports that the Clippers are super interested in Mike Brown, they actually like Mike Brown, do you stick around? Like, I go interview for the Rockets job because I want a head coaching job. I'm not waiting for the Clippers if I'm Ty Lue, so he's going to go ahead and do that, and the Rockets have liked him from the beginning, so they might just offer him the job potentially, and he might just take it. So I do think he'll get a job, but if I'm Ty Lue, I'm not super pleased about reading about the fact that, Mike Brown, he really impressed us in L.A. We like him. Steve Ballmer, he was probably sweating bullets when he interviewed Mike Brown. But I don't know. If I'm Ty Lue, I take any job I can get, and if the Rockets offer it, I might just take it. These are the openings right now: Clippers, Pacers, Pelicans, Rockets, Thunder. These are the 5 openings currently in the NBA. I would expect a lot of these vacancies to be filled soon with the offseason officially upon us. So we will see what happens with these jobs. But obviously, the Clippers is clearly the best job opening right now because they're ready to win a title now. But out of those other 4, what do you guys think the best job opening is? Do you think it's the Pacers, type IND? If you think it's the Rockets, type HOU. If you think it's the Pelicans, type NOP. Think it's the Thunder, type OKC. Call me crazy. I gotta think it's the Thunder, the amount of assets they have. And if they can somehow trade Chris Paul and get another pick or 2, that's an intriguing job, especially if Sam Presti gives you a little bit of rope, a couple of years to build this thing. I'm going OKC. I think the Rockets, they missed their chance. I don't want that job because they have a lot of, they lack assets, I should say. So type OKC, HOU, NOP, or IND. We'll wrap up NBA news and rumors with this upcoming season and the start time potentially being later than we thought. It's still technically tentatively scheduled for December 1st. That's not happening. We're in mid-October. This season is not starting on December 1st. Probably not in December. But apparently Michelle Roberts has told players that maybe we won't start until February. And if that's the case, I don't see how you get an 82-game season in next year because – look, I love the NBA, but you don't want to overlap with the NFL. The NBA finals ratings are low because you're having to go up against the NFL. I'm not doing that if I'm Adam Silver in the NBA. So if you start in February, maybe you plan for like a 60-game season and you can get things wrapped up in late July, because challenging the NFL has not gone well for the NBA. Not that they chose to do this. This is, what coronavirus dictated for us. But at the end of the day, this is just what it was going to be. So hopefully this season can get going sometime early in 2021. I would expect for a shortened season. They still say they want 82 games, but if you do that, you're going to overlap with the NFL, and I do not think that that is a good idea whatsoever. So we will see when the next season gets going. Ideally, you get going in January, but I think February is probably a lot more likely. If you haven't already, get subscribed to Chat Sports. We got videos on the NBA coming every single day for you guys. I do some videos. Hater Jimmy had you guys covered every single day. By the way, he just released his latest mock draft. Go check that out. He does a great job scouting all the new prospects for this upcoming draft. So check that out. He also put out a Celtics mock draft for you Celtics fans. We do some team coverage here as well. So subscribe and turn on notifications here on Chat Sports.